Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Homeschool Moms Unfiltered. We are your messy, imperfect homeschool mom friends. I'm your host, Amanda, and this is my awesome co-host.
Hello, I'm Megan.
All right, so I will start with Happy New Year, right? I'm not big on resolutions. I mostly commit to embracing contentment. I don't need to put more on my plate. I got plenty going on. I'm not resoluting to anything. How about you? Do you guys do resolutions in your house?
No, not really. I mean, one year I set a really superficial one to try and accessorize more because I don't wear a lot of jewelry, and I think I lasted about a week. So thankfully, it wasn't a more serious goal than that, but generally speaking, not so much.
Yeah. We live in a condo complex and the gym is on the first floor of our building. And so for the next 2 weeks, our community gym is going to be full constantly. And then life will get back to normal. It'll be fine, right? I feel like that's kind of what happens with most resolutions. That's why I'm not a huge fan of them.
Yeah.
But so anyway, this week we are going to kick off the new year with another one of our Unfiltered Bites episodes. So this is one of those topics that we have referenced before many times, actually, if we're going to get right down to it, but it always seems to get kind of buried in a full episode. And we decided that it really deserved its own little standalone segment. Okay. It's important. So today we're going to be talking specifically about seeking curriculum or resource suggestions in Facebook groups. This is applicable to newbies seeking advice and veterans offering advice. So clean out your ears, turn on your listening ears, whatever you say in your house. Here we go.
Yeah. And I mean, it'll be helpful, I think, for newbies, but more so for veterans. It's like, come on now, come on. We know better, right? So okay, we see posts in groups all the time that are like, we need something new for ELA. What are you using? Or I'm about to start homeschooling. What's the best program? So we all know, I read those posts and I have more questions than answers. Now, if you're a newbie and you're posting and your question is super vague, I totally get that because it's like, that's saying you don't know what you don't know. And so you're like, I don't even know how to formulate a question because I'm 10 steps behind the starting line. I am so confused that I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to be asking. So that I totally get. Where I struggle is then when the veterans are like, try this, try that, try this, try that. And it's like, hold on a second. I have more questions than I have answers, right? How old is your kid? I mean, how do you even begin to give someone advice on what program they should be using when you don't know if their kid is 4 or 17? Like, how? How are you giving anyone advice when you don't have those answers? So newbies, include that sort of information in your post. Pop on there, here's how old my kiddo is, et cetera, because that's going to be huge in getting the answer. Sometimes too, it's because sometimes the question that you're asking isn't age appropriate for that kiddo. So sometimes it's because your 4-year-old shouldn't be writing essays, and that's okay. So having that information is helpful. Okay, in a scenario where you say, like, we need something new for ELA, what are you using? What have you already tried? What have you tried, and why do you think it isn't working? What are the friction points that are making ELA a nightmare for you that make you think that you're looking for something new? Because if your ELA program isn't working for XYZ reason, and then everybody's suggestions replicate those same scenarios or those same structure or the same learning style as the thing that's not working for you, you're going to end up switching to one of those and find yourself in the exact same pickle that you were in before. So what have you already tried? Why isn't it working? Why are you looking for something new? So that people go, oh, it's because your kid doesn't learn that way. Oh, they might learn this way. This program works entirely different. Have you considered that? And then you can have a more engaging dialogue. How about, how does your kiddo learn best? Do they learn best online? Do they learn best through worksheets? Do they learn best through interpretive dance? I don't know, like whatever. How does your kid learn? Does it need to be hands-on? Should it be in a project? Should it be in a unit study? How does your kid learn? Because I have 3 kids, and even among my 3 kids, they all learn quite differently. But even let's say I'm taking my kiddo who's closest in age to Amanda's kiddo, right? they learn entirely differently. I am confident of that. Like without living in Amanda's house and working one-on-one with her kid, they're two really different kids. They're probably going to learn very, very differently. So how does your kid learn best? And then another thing that I think is really important is, are there any learning differences involved? If your kiddo is dyslexic, if your kiddo's ADHD, autistic, what are those differences? And how does it affect the way that they learn so that we can set that kiddo up for success when sharing advice, right? So veterans, please, 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 for the love of everything, right? If somebody posts like, I'm new, what's the best curriculum? Please stop shouting curriculum suggestions at the new people. It just doesn't make sense. It's like if somebody stands on the street corner and is like, I'm hungry, and people just walk by and they're like, French fries, pizza, Brussels sprouts. What are you supposed to do with that information? Some of those foods you might not like. Some of them you might be allergic to. Some might not be available in the neighborhood you live in. Some of them you might not have heard of. You can't even spell them, let alone figure out what to do. And so you just have all these useless suggestions bouncing off of you, and you're just standing there going, I'm still hungry. It doesn't make a ton of sense. So all that to say, right, newbies, put as much info in your post as you can. If you don't know how your kid learns best yet, that's okay. You might not know that, and that's totally cool. If you're not sure about learning differences because they're young or you haven't had a chance to get an eval and you kind of suspect but you're not sure, that's okay. Don't worry about it. But whatever info you do have, like at a minimum, you're going to want age in there and some other things, right? Give as much detail as you possibly can. And veterans, if you see that the details are missing, before you just start shouting responses into the void, ask some clarifying questions so that maybe we can try and steer people who are looking for advice towards something that's at least closer to being a good fit for their needs. Can I get off my soapbox now?
But I mean, it's so true, right? And we see it. We see it all the time in every group that we're in. It happens. I just not that long ago, some mom came on and she was like, "Oh, we're thinking about trying Beast Academy for math because my kiddo really doesn't like math and he's not very good at math. And we heard that Beast Academy has these fun comic book math books." And it was like, okay, hold up. Like, Beast Academy is not the math for a kid who doesn't like math. If you really think that you want to try it, please just do the free trial or get like one of the books used secondhand from somewhere. But I don't know who gave you that recommendation. Clearly it came from one of these, like just shouting into the void without having all of the details, because no one who knows anything about Beast Academy math is going to be like, this is the perfect math curriculum for a kid who isn't any good at math and actually really hates math. Like, it's not a good fit. It's going to make your homeschooling miserable. It's going to make your kiddo miserable. It's going to make you miserable. And nobody wants that. We don't want that for you. That's not success.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make
All
sense.
Right, so, right, exactly. It's just that thing, keep in mind that if you don't have the information, if you don't have the details, it's just truly random shots in the dark. You're no closer to what you wanted. You're no further ahead than if you just randomly Googled it on your own. Now, if you're looking for a place to ask super targeted, personalized questions, you can absolutely come to us. We do, if you feel like you need a lot of help, we do coaching sessions. You can book those with us. You can book it with me or Megan or both of us together. If you want just more of a general, you don't feel like you need quite that much, but you do want some really specific, like, what about ELA or what about this? Come join our Patreon community. If you join at the VIP level, which is only $12 a month, it's not that high. We do monthly Q&A session. We talk all things homeschooling and parenting, and really, this is a time when we really get into the nitty gritty of specific recommendations and suggestions, and it gives us time to ask questions and really understand. We're happy to kind of help mentor and guide during those sessions. And then we also have a second one every month that's much more fun. It's about talking with other adults and having grown-up conversations about things, sometimes kid-related, but we try to not have it be all completely kid-related. It's like a, happy hour, mom's night out kind of thing, although it's definitely not limited to just moms. If you're a dad listening, feel free to join us. So yeah, you can join our Patreon community. We do have Our membership's on sale for just a couple more days. If you're listening when this drops, the sale is through January 4th, 2025. You can get 50% off your first month of your membership. Just use code BITE50, that's BITE 50, and put that in at checkout. You'll get that 50% off your first month. And then, yeah, if you need help finding it, there's a link to our actual Patreon in the description, in the show notes kind of thing. And then it'll also go into the benefits at the different levels. You do get a community study and You get a unit study. Goodness gracious. The unit stages they're really great. And they focus on like a themed thing that relates to each month. And then we do have, like I said, these community building opportunities in the VIP level, which again is only $12. So, our version of VIP. But yeah, we would love to see you there.
And when you said community study, I was like, was I supposed to build a community study? What am I doing? What did I miss something? I think I've screwed up.
I missed that.
We're good. Unit studies we can do. We got those done, right? Oh my goodness. All right. Well, that is all for us today. We'd love to invite you to join us on social media, wherever you hang out. If you're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of the above, we have a business page on each of those where you can check out clips from the show and just other miscellaneous things. We've also got a Facebook group. You can search Homeschool Moms Unfiltered and find us there, where we chat homeschooling and life and travel and food and kids and whatever, TV, books, whatever. So come and hang out with us wherever you'd like. We would love to welcome you. We hope to see you there. And in the meantime, happy homeschooling.
Yeah, have a great one.